This video addresses the possibility for a future where humanity continuously expands its reach away from Earth and into the wider cosmos. It has been noted by smarter people than I that great civilizational endeavors are motivated by either military, economic, or fundamental ideological drivers. If we want space to receive much more funding than it currently does, one of these motivators would need to be mobilized. I claim that this is unrealistic in the case of economic and ideological drivers, and that attempting to revive the existential high-wire act which underpinned the Cold War would be an unacceptably high risk to take. In the event that I'm being overly pessimistic and an economic or ideological motivator can be made to drive space exploration, then the remainder of this video is nothing more than an outline of an optional extra feature of future space activities. If, however, the opposite is true, then that optional extra becomes critical to supplying humanity with the space program we deserve. Even without a broad civilizational mobilization, some overall global funding boosts are to be expected simply due to an expanding global economy and the emergence of newly industrialized nations. This alone, however, will likely not be enough to continuously advance a space frontier. I can't predict the future. I can, however, see certain trends emerging in the human space endeavor which seem to have added value, or give more bang for your buck. In searching for such trends, it makes sense to start by looking at the largest peaceful space project ever undertaken, the International Space Station program. These are the ISS partner nations. The selection isn't really surprising. We see the world's largest industrial powerhouse, the United States, along with Canada. We notice the Russian Federation, which inherited the crown jewel of the Soviet Union, its space program. To the east of Russia lies Japan, until recently the world's second largest industrial producer. And as always, there's a special case, Europe. Now, given the industrial capacity of these countries, you'd expect Germany, France, and perhaps Italy to take part in the ISS effort. But there's more here. There's Spain and Sweden, Norway and Denmark, there's Belgium and Holland, and Switzerland. So what gives? These aren't individual ISS partner countries, they're ESA member states. It's important to realize that a number of these countries have their own space agencies which work on crucial national activities but simply don't have the resources to carry out world-class missions on their own. These big projects are carried out by ESA, often in cooperation with member space agencies. I suggest that this model could bring a great deal of benefit were it to be replicated and globalized. It could be argued that ESA is unique, an anomaly, that it couldn't be replicated or expanded worldwide. The answer to such doubts must simply be, it already has been replicated. ESA is only one of many international science-based organizations. Some of the others include the European Southern Observatory, CERN, the ILL Institute, the Facility for Anti-Proton and Ion Research, and the European Molecular Biology Laboratory. Beyond simple replication, these formal cooperation frameworks are expanding to a more global scale. India became a member of the ILL Institute in 2011 and is a member of FAIR along with Russia and other European countries. Brazil is set to join ESO in 2012. The Molecular Biology Lab admitted Australia as an associate member in 2008. CERN has granted different levels of partnership to dozens of nations, and ESA has an enlargement agenda encompassing well over a dozen nations. Moreover, for the first time in history, there exists an international space exploration coordination group. This includes space agencies from Europe, the United States, Canada, China, India, Korea, Japan, Australia, and Russia. The point is that this can be done, as evidenced by the fact that it is being done. If you take anything away from this video, remember the following. Paraphrasing the late great Christopher Hitchens, I don't like the Cold War. Not really, except for one small aspect. When human civilization was hanging by a thread in the 1960s, there was an entire interval when a determined portion of humanity continuously advanced the space frontier. All I want to propose is that if the human species is to rise to the full height which is demanded by our dignity and by all the potential that our intelligence has to offer, we must all endeavor to move to a state of affairs where that condition is permanent.